see if I can do this. See if I can make this work. Okay, right. Here we go. It's going. It's happening. It's activated. Alright? I've activated the stream. It has been activated. It is live. It is functioning. It is on. So, hello. How are you going? How you doing? So I'm just kind of fucking bored right now. I'm working on a new Satellite City thing. It's gonna be about 3 minutes. It's pretty good. The gang on lockdown, and I've been working on the book as well. But in the meantime, I haven't done a stream in a while. So I figured I'd, you know, make something from this cube. Because that's entertainment these days. That's how this works. Okay. I'll also be answering questions. So if you've got any questions, just throw them my way. And I'll see about answering them. But I might lie. Because I'm untrustworthy when it comes to this stuff. Okay, so what should we make? Tell me, you guys fucking, let's do some suggestions. Give me a theme. Hello, Wise Light 7, thanks for the $2. But, it's great, it's fantastic, lovely to see you here tonight. But what are we gonna actually make here? Give us, let's make something, fucking something good. So let's. Okay. Just reading this. Yeah, it's a cube. It's going. It's a cube. Actually, we need a theme, alright? Wendigo. That's right. A deer creature. Woods. Candle. A dragon. Ah, yes. A puppet. Yeah. You failed me. I asked for one cohesive response and you all come up with this stuff. Can't even say you guys can't even say the same thing at the same time. You can't even coordinate this shit. Hi Fenna, how have you been doing? How have you been doing quarantine? I've been alright. I've been pretty good. Oh my god, this thing's going mental. How have you been doing quarantine? Also, are there still plans for us to meet Bamforth and Whittaker? Yes, there are. I've been fine. I've been pretty good. It's been okay. Nothing too detrimental has gone down. So yeah, I'm good. Something bear-like. Okay. Amber Ash Talon Animations. I request the return of Bob. Oh god, you know what? I was actually really happy with that model because it was a model completely made out of it was completely animated with the shape keys. For those of you who don't know what a shape key is, it's this. So you have this and then you do that, right? And then you do that. So his entire movement base was made up of shape keys, So it was sort of you'd sort of have this sort of movement, and it was all here in this tab. So yeah, that was an interesting model, fun to animate with as well. Let's make something interesting. Okay. So you just keep the questions coming in, and I'll try to multitask. One rule of modeling is that it always looks shit until it doesn't. So, I'm doing my best here. Okay. let's. Okay, so that's sort of like a good mouth sort of thing. Yeah. And then maybe. Oh, okay. And I'll do. Sort of. It's like, I don't know what this is going to end up like, but it's something. Something is going on. Okay. This is just generic creature number 1. Tell you what, let's give him a scary mouth. Let's give him like a fucking. Let's go bigger. Yeah, there we go. That's gonna look good. All right. Give some more shape keys there. Try and get some more shape out of that. And then just sort of. Yeah. Do. Let's check this super chat thing. How's it going? Oh my god, the catch up is ridiculous. Kindu the Protogen. We've got. How long does it usually take to model a character like Shuck or Winifred? Also, please make a Mothman. Okay, we'll see if we can turn it mothy like. Has Winifred ever talked in her youth? Is Luna, the bartender, gonna join the squad? And $10 here from Tommy Jones. Do you have a favorite non-digital medium to work in? Also, that kind of looked like an evil capybara. We'll see how it ends up. First question by Amber. To make one of my character models, it depends. Sometimes I can do it in like one sitting, like a few hours, depending on the complexity. Sometimes it can take me a week. It really depends on what I want. So there's that. The second question by Dragon's Child. Has Winifred ever talked and will Luna join? Yes. Winifred's character sort of went from just a sort of silent mute to an actual character over the course of the years. So the book version is very much the actual Winifred that I ended up with. So yeah, she has talked and she will talk in the book. And then, what's your favourite non-digital medium to work in? By Tommy Jones. Clay, I think. I like clay. I quite enjoy clay. Clay's good. Clay's nice. Because it's 3D. I've never been good with 2D. You know, 2D's always sort of vexed me. Although I'd like to get into it. 2 nostrils or... That's alright, I suppose. Yeah, that's alright, I guess. And just sort of let's form these eyebrows up a bit. Let's do a bit of work over here. Oh, there we go. Bring that up. Bring that. Yes. Okay, let's smooth this out, see what we're working with. Okay. Right. I have no fucking idea what I'm even attempting here. But it's something. Looks like a piece of shit, but we'll make it yield. Don't worry, guys. By the end of this stream, we'll have something pretty cool. I swears. This is sort of the equivalent of a sketch. Only much worse. So, right. this then? Oh, Christ, these. Okay. Play some pumped up kicks while you're at it. Oh, I don't know what that means. Help, assistance is required. But thank you very much. Why are you using Blender 2.7 over 2.8? For a very good reason, which I'll tell. And then Dragon South, I want to buy the book so I can hear her talk. Also squishy. Yes, indeed. In any case, the reason I am using 2.7 is because 2.8 has a problem. And that is its threshold for rendering stuff sucks. So whenever I create a scene that has like a lot of data in it, Blender 2.8 likes to shit the bed and I can't render it. It's brilliant for animating in and working in. I'm not going to deny that. And I'd be working in it right now, and I used 2.8 to make the Bamforth and Whittaker animation test and a few other things. But I started running into problems when I had to render larger scenes. I don't know if it's fixed. It probably has been fixed because I haven't been up to date with it entirely. But last time I checked, it was a bit fiddly. But I'll go back to it once that's sorted. What computer are you using? I'm using an Apex 2 by Box Technologies. It's a workstation designed for this sort of stuff. It's the same computer I've been using for a few years because I originally used a Mac, and then that couldn't keep up, so I tossed that, and then I decided to go for an actual PC. So I had one built and sent to me by Box, and that was a good decision because this one's, if I was using a Mac right now, this would be lagging up a storm. I would not be able to fucking do this. It was very difficult to get things done in. What the fuck are we making here? What is this? What the fuck are, what are you? I still don't know. Fucking okay. What are we looking at here? What's the situation? Okay, so there's 14 vertices on the top jaw. On the bottom jaw, we're looking at 10. Okay. That's alright then, I suppose. So yeah, but anyway, the book's going really well. I was actually surprised by how happy I am with it, because when I first started all this YouTube stuff, I didn't know what the fuck my goal was. It was just sort of, I'll do what I do. And in the early days of Satellite City, as I think is very clear, I didn't really have a direction with it. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I didn't have a plot. All I had was these characters, and at one point it was like, maybe I'll try and make it into sort of a YouTube show, and then I was like, oh, maybe one day I could get it to television, and then I was like, no, it's not unique enough. It's kind of like, it's not original. What can I do? What story can I tell? And the more I sort of spoke about this Kivawak place, the more interested in it I got, until I thought, well, let's just make the whole setting there, and that's when it really came to life. And that's why Satellite City's taken like a narrative backseat in favor of the book, which isn't a bad thing. It's just, it's a much needed thing. Will there be auditions for anything? Love to help. Loco des Stars. Maybe. But I've got to keep my priorities straight. And that is that's to get the book finished. And trying not to fuck that up, It's a process. Okay, so basically what we're doing here is we're getting the basic shape of whatever the fuck this head is, and then we'll look into like actually developing it. I really love Satellite City. And its characters, Fontaine, Luna, and Yeshua being my top favourite. I was wondering when Fontaine will get an animation test. Oh, I'm actually working on that now. That's part of the reason why there hasn't been any animated content for a while, because I'm working on 2 at the same time. There's an animation test for Fontaine. Yeshua's has been planned, but I haven't started that, but I will. And then of course there's the new episode. Amber, I'll call him Steve. Also, I keep seeing people asking for, if you need voice actors, any Satellite City updates regarding that. I'll send $100 if you scream at Lucy right now, deadass. Lucy! Fucking, you know? Get the fuck in here, big bitch! Where's my coffee? I don't drink coffee, I drink tea. Where's my tea? Better not be any salt in there. Anyway, but yeah. What the fuck was that other one? Oh, that was Alex Telford. So yeah, the part of the reason I want to fucking relax the plot is to get some of these fucking characters in here. You know, like, I've got Bamforth and Whittaker just sat there, finished. I've got Luna, Mystique, Titania, all these other characters waiting to come back into the story. But because, here's what you need to understand, is that making Satellite City, regardless of how ropey it might look sometimes in terms of production quality, because I am one person and there is only so much I can do. It takes a long time to actually, you know, sort it. And so I really need to pick and choose very carefully what I want to bring to the screen, because every fucking second of extra content is like an extra hour of work or more. That's the sort of dilemma, and every extra minute, you know, it stacks up. So it's like there is physically a limit to what I can show, you know, in the show, especially if I'm doing a narrative with it, which originally I was, with this whole Locket returning thing, and I'll continue that just to a lesser, more, you know, passive degree. But with a book, I can just sort of tell the story as I want it to be told, you know, properly, you know, without any limitations, because it's written. The only limitation is, you know, one's wordcraft, I suppose. So it's much easier to get things across in a book than it is a whole ass animated fucking show on YouTube, which I want to keep doing. Satellite City is my child, for all its warts. But, you know, I want to enjoy it. I want to do it for fun. Now that I've decided what I want out of this whole project, which is a book, I want to focus on that and really do the characters justice, you know. And that's why I made the decision to do it, because you can see the sort of things in Satellite City as they develop. You know, a lot of people sort of like pointed out where it's like, you know, Winifred was a quiet sort of mute, and then she just becomes violent out of nowhere. It seems out of character. It's not so much out of character so much as she didn't really have a character when I started. Same with all the others. Lucy was just a sort of psycho and didn't really have anything beyond that. That's just where she was at as a character. And then over the course of the show, it was like, you know, I can do more with this, and that's where the sort of psychological angle came into it, and I had more fun with that. And Satellite City is the reason these characters ended up as developed as they are in the book. So it's like, you know, I definitely owe it for that. But with the book, I'm not exactly limited. I can try out more things and try and get better at writing, because, you know, no one's born with the ability to just do something. You've got to practice, and, you know, I think it's really easy to tell in the early days of Satellite City that I didn't know what I was doing in terms of storytelling or writing, but as the show progressed, especially around Slice of Life, it became more, you know, a bit more. Okay, this is some good, actual good, sort of content. I think that people might enjoy. What if this guy's got like chins for days? And so I resolved to get that book sorted because that was just like, yeah, if I want the characters to go a certain way, I can do it, and I don't need to worry about like being physically limited by, you know, my skill as an animator, because I'm not perfect. You know, I'm you know, sort of a hobbyist animator. You know, I've just sort of come to accept that over the years, where it's like I do it for fun. You know, I enjoy, genuinely I enjoy the process. So, oh shit, hang on. Who's Dizzy Jones? That's an example of me not knowing what I was doing. Dizzy Jones is a character. It's just he's not called Dizzy Jones anymore. That's an example of me trying to work out what the fuck I'm doing with this story. You know. So that's an example of something that's been translated to the book much better. Anything in the show that doesn't make sense, I've sort of like kept what works and thrown out what doesn't. So I think it's like a nice meld. How will we open up the back of his jaw and show some teeth? Whatever that's gonna end up like. Sort of like a skull type visage. There you go. Oh shit, Ambo, $100. I'm a man of my word, mad respect to you. Also, if you need help at all, absolutely interested in helping however I can. Have an amazing day, keep up the legendary work. Thank you very much. Actually, you know, I probably will do like another call for assistance with regards to some stuff in the future, just not so much now. But in the future, I definitely will. Because, you know, I do enjoy doing this. It is fun. It's just, like I said, I've got to get my priorities straight. I've got to decide what I want to do. YouTube, maybe when I was 18 or 19, I was arrogant enough to think that I could, you know, do YouTube as a job. But YouTube isn't, at least not for me, a job. It's fun. It's just entertainment. It's not that legitimate. That's why I want to do a book, because it's a bit more my speed. It allows me to actually sort of develop things properly. But that's it. You live and you learn, and I've had so much fun developing my ideas through Satellite City. Without Satellite City, I would have nothing pretty much. I don't know what I'd have, but it wouldn't be this. It certainly wouldn't be a fantastic audience like this. It wouldn't be, you know, a nice developed world and book that I'm working on with lore and locations and history. You know, Satellite City started out and I was just like, okay, I've got these characters, let's see what we can do. This guy's living with them because it's the easiest way for me to interact with them and pick out their characters. And then it's like, okay, what do I want? In fact, you know, there was a scene that was cut during the Top Brass Wexel episode. There was a scene where Ludwig pulls out of his pocket a vial of red liquid and is like, remember this, Wexel? And that was part of some fucking random ass plot involving like liquid fear that they take from the mortal realm and transport to their dimension of terror. It was shit. It was just complete bollocks. And that almost made it into that's how undeveloped that shit was. And then over the years, the more I started actually thinking, okay, what is the Kiviwak? What am I making here? What's the goal? It's like, well, sci-fi's fucking interesting. Sci-fi's good. I've always had H.G. Wells is my favorite writer. Let's tailor it more towards that, shall we? And so I did, and I really found my footing with it, and it came to be really, really fun to create this crazy sort of world, and and have the freedom to explore the characters. Winifred went from being a blind mute nothing to an angry, vicious bitch. Dalton went from Shuck, who's this disinterested, just sort of, again, nothing, to a sort of soft-spoken gent, who likes his jokes and likes his booze, but he's a nice guy. Lucy went from a psychopath to a psychologist. They developed over the course, and that's why Satellite City, I think, is so special, because I can look back with pride and think, while it wasn't perfect, it led to something more in tune to the end goal. And I think if this book works out the way I hope it does, it'll be a very interesting sort of look back, like, this is where it all came from. Would you believe it? Would you believe that, the Kivawak started out in a house in Liverpool with creatures just showing up at the door like, hello there, Sullivan, I'm photosynthesizing, And I love it for that. And that's why I want to keep doing it, because that element of Satellite City will always be fun for me. That goofiness that comes with just these characters saying immoral, amoral, fucking bullshittery, and Sullivan killing people for pumpkins, it led to something that I'm really proud of. This guy's starting to look a bit better now. This guy's beginning to sort of have something of a personality about him. I still don't know. I think I've been playing too much Doom. I'm getting Doom vibes. This is, let's make his eyes smaller. Let's because I've been playing Doom Eternal. Doom was a big inspiration for me from a sort of from a world building perspective. The creatures in that, I've always had more of an interest in monsters than people, because alien cultures, to me, there's just something superior about them when it comes to storytelling. I always like to get lost in a world rather than hear about a world that I already know about, if that makes sense. And Doom was one of my first experiences with that. It was, a game I used to play as a kid with my brother. The original Dooms, and then we had Doom 3. And I'll tell you how young I was when I played Doom. Hang on a minute. Give me a second. Oh. Where the fuck is the light? Tell me where the light is, please. Alright. I'm going to turn the camera on for like a second. Okay, right. There he is. Look at this, look at this, look at him. So Doom, for me, was, that's a cacodemon. Caca! But I grew up with Doom, and I got, like, my mind was just sort of warped by these sort of creatures and monsters, and I really loved it. And that's why a lot of my characters are beastly and not human, because as a kid you grow up with all this stuff, and it just sort of has an effect on you, and it just becomes a preference. It just becomes instinct to want to sort of tell more alien stories, because I wanted to know more about the creatures, because the demons in Doom have more personality than the fucking Doom Slayer, the Doom guy. They're so unique. And so as a kid I was just obsessed. I remember when I first got Doom 3, I didn't have a PC powerful enough, so I used to sleep with it under my pillow. I was like religiously desperate to play this game, and eventually I did, and it was glorious. This guy's nose is turning out to be a bit boxy. You just got to sort of manage your vertices a bit, keep things like under control, otherwise they'll turn cubic. You want to sort of, I'm only doing the head, by the way. To make the whole body would be an ordeal, but maybe I'll finish it at some point. Anyway, let's catch up with this chat. Will you ever make a Blender tutorial for sculpting, rigging, compositing? Your humor will definitely liven that kind of video. I don't think I don't know if what I do is even right. If that makes sense. when I was younger, when I first started, I just sort of did what I did and didn't really listen to how it was supposed to be. Which, you know, I don't even know if it was a fucking mistake or not. I seem to be able to navigate Blender pretty well now, and I'm happy with my set of skills. I can, you know, composite and model and finish a character and make a character and have it all work with, you know, relative ease. So I guess it worked out in the end. But whether I'm qualified to teach, that's another matter, because I don't know if I am. It's one of those things where it's like, I don't really trust myself to, because I could be doing this all wrong. I have no idea. Someone could look at this and say, the way he's modeling this is against protocol. You're not supposed to rip the vertices like that. That's not how it's supposed to be. But for me, whatever works, works. And it seems to work, so, you know. Yeah, not gonna lie, your old videos did seem like you were trying to show your talents to others. Steam Power Drafts, Utopia, yeah, exactly. Yeah, completely new guy. I was, and I still am. It's one of those things where it's like, if you don't ask, you don't get. I do like the idea of working with other people, and, you know, I suppose that's just a quirk I have, where it's like that need for validation, which I think we all have to an extent. But when I was growing up, I wasn't known as an artist at all. My friends in school didn't know that I liked to animate. They didn't know that I had, you know, characters in my head. I was the sort of, you know, the guy who really wasn't about that. I was the guy who, you know, spent all his time looking at snails and fucking, you know, originally my goal was to be a biologist, you know, and I was more interested in other topics. I did alright in English, but it wasn't necessarily anything that people knew me as being particularly good at. But I always had, like, sort of a background interest, and it was only when I was around 16 that I started to learn how to animate in Blender when I was 16 years old. And so, because I started so late and started to express myself artistically so late, I hadn't learned empathy yet, which is basically understanding where other people are coming from. To be criticized for my art was an alien concept to me at the age of 16. So early on, I had a really rough time of accepting criticism and understanding that what I was doing wasn't necessarily of good quality. So I was constantly seeking validation, trying to, if I could just, you know, get this right, if I could just make this work, if I could just, you know, and I could be a right asshole about it. But once Satellite City started to kick off, and over the years of doing it, I've sort of relaxed and realized that it's okay to just, you know, do it as a hobby, to enjoy the animation process. It's okay to just, you know, be a bit more humble and, you know, accept that not everything you do is perfect, and that's what leads to improvement. But I came into it really late, and so I didn't. It was sort of like a baptism of fire when I was, you know, in my late teens, trying to really show what I could do, and a lot of things were more like, you know, what can I do to make this work? How can I get my stuff out there? You know, Five Nights at Freddy's, you know, that's popular. I guess I'll give that a shot. Steam Power Giraffe, I like that band. I guess I'll give that a shot. Film reviews, I guess I'll give that a shot. And it's just like fucking. And it was only when I started to do Satellite City and started to work on my own ideas that I started to just sort of be like, yeah, this is okay. And when people started to actually like it, it was that moment of like, calm down. You don't need to have this big chip on your shoulder. You don't need to fucking be fueled by fucking, you know, this fucking constant battle for validation. And, you know, it's something that I still have. It's just part of who I am, I suppose. We all grow up with certain environmental factors that make us the way we are, and that's just one of them for me. You know, and I think that a lot of people share that as well. Why else does social media exist? Why do people post their art? because they want to feel like what they've done is validated. It's not, they can't just look at their artwork and say, yes, that's good, I did a good job there. If everyone else says, no, you didn't, that's shit, they need the sort of thrill of the chase for people to say, well, this isn't good enough, do better. And that sucks to hear, but more often than not, that leads to being better. I can safely say that 100% of my improvement as an animator has come from people saying this isn't good enough. And at the time it's like, well, who the fuck do you think you are? Do you know who I am? But years later down the line, it's like, well, I'm actually doing what they said. I'm actually, you know, fucking, your fur doesn't look good enough. Okay, fine, I'll remake all the models. Your animation's too stiff. Okay, I'll make it loosey goosey. Your animation's too loose and moves too much. Okay, well, I'll do Derek and Clive. I'll slow it down. So I respond to it more in my own way. I've always said this, that criticism is like medicine. With the right prescription and dosage, it can help you get better. But if you take it all on with impunity, you're gonna suffer. Because not all of it works. You know, not everyone understands some people just don't understand, or just don't have a taste for what you do, and that's fine. And you just need to be able to identify the difference between people who genuinely sort of get what you do and want it to be better, and the people who just, you know, passing by like, what the fuck's this, you know, and that's okay. This guy's looking okay as well, speaking of which. I don't know what the fuck his problem is. Someone's fucking eating his fucking biscuit or something. Hi fan, I can't wait for the book. That's Trash Panda. $20. Hi fan, I can't wait for the book. Love your vivid expression and body language in your animations that spoke to personality. I love the Lucy Yorkers Few excerpt referencing that. How did you learn to do that? To animate expression. Let me think. Sort of, I don't know. It's I sort of, when I'm animating, when I'm animating expressions, I sort of pull the face myself. If you've ever seen me animate something, my face does all sorts of weird shit, because I feel like if I can do it, then I can translate that to the characters. In a way, animation is kind of acting. I know that sounds weird, and some people are going to be like, no, it's not. But if you're an animator, you're technically acting. You're thinking of, you know, regardless of your ability to do it live and actually perform yourself, but you're making this essentially lifeless puppet perform in a way that makes it, you know, its own character. So animation's sort of very similar to acting. You've got to sort of like analyze how people work and what personality type you want it to have, and if that'll even work, and all that stuff. You know, so just sort of patience and making sure that you get things right, and you don't rush into. It's not always good enough to just make it move. It's gotta move in the right way, you know. It's just sort of get this. It's gotta be sort of believable, you know. And you're not gonna get that all the time. Sometimes you're gonna fuck up. Sometimes you're gonna like there are times where I've made entire animated sequences and I've had to scrap it because it just looks like dog shit. You know, and it's like if I posted this, people would be like, can this guy do the Harryhausen? Well, you know, and not all the, you know, I'm not always on my A game. But that's how it is with any sort of craft. You sort of have to keep reminding yourself of how to fucking do it, you know, if you haven't done it in a while. You know, it's just normal. So just practice, honestly. Just practice. And just make sure you Okay, that's all I'll do of this. I'm not going to model his body because that would take too long. I don't even know where I would go with that, but that's where it's staying for now. Hello. It kind of looks like fucking, I don't know. It's all like a weird Draco from Dragonheart. I don't know what to do with this back bit. Let's do something though. See what else we got here. Will you be making any other stories or series, or just sticking to Satellite City stuff? I love Satellite City, but also, oh shit, that cut off. But also what? But also what? I can't find it. Oh, here we go. I love Satellite City, but I'd also love to see more. Well, the August View, the book, is currently my main objective with regards to life. That's where almost all my energy is going. So there's that. Will I be doing anything else story based other than the Kiviwak? I don't know. I'd need to come up with the idea. You know? I'd need to actually sort of come up with it and then decide if it's something that I want to do. Maybe. I think so. But for me, it's weird. Like, I don't know. I don't just want to be in the entertainment field. There are other things in life that I'd love to do. I would still like to get into different fields and you know, and try new things out. So, you know, because like I said, I've got 6 books planned for the August View. At least that's how many I think it's going to take to sort of get from the beginning to the end. Each book is sort of like has its own beginning, middle, and end narrative, but it's sort of like in like Harry Potter. Each book has its own story, but it sort of contributes to the larger world. That's the sort of thing I'm going for with it. What do you want from me, Mr. Man? Who the fuck are you? What's your game? What's your fucking what do you want? What are these horns? Why do you have these? What is this? They're thin. Do you want bigger horns? Do you want to look more intimidating or what? No? Maybe? Let's find out. Ooh. I kinda like that. That's better. Do you like that more? You got some sort of protection now, at least for your wherever the fuck that is. Sort of defense. I don't know what the fuck you're playing at. Who the fuck are you, friend? You know? I don't know. Fucking bastard. Amber, one of my friends can't use Super Chat but wanted to say hi for him. Please acknowledge my good friend Ethan for me. Many thanks, my good man. Hello, Ethan. Greetings. In fact, we are going to call this man Ethan. This is Ethan. You know? That's how that's going to work now. This is Ethan. That is not the right way around. This is Ethan. Ethan exists. Alright? Say hello to Ethan. Alright? What a... I suppose I can see this guy being an Ethan. Do we want anything else for his forehead? Is this gonna work? I can see that. Or maybe smaller ones. I can definitely see that. Yeah, that works. Okay, you've convinced me. You've convinced me of this. You've got to sort of give me a bit more space to move, though. I don't know what the fuck's going on with your brain, but we're giving it some protection. I don't know how intelligent you are, but I suppose we'll find out. Those are some broad fucking horns, you know. Do you want to calm down a bit? You ain't hot shit. There you go. Jesus. Okay. Just listen to me. Oh, sometimes life gives you lemons. And you just need to relax and calm down. Okay, so let's read through this chat. Lucy Goosemaker, thank you, Amber. I'd love to stick around, but it's past 2 a.m. I should sleep. Have a good stream, Sam. See you later. Harper the Kawaki, thank you very much. Trash Panda, hi Fenner, can't wait for the book to drop. Love you. Oh, we've read that one. Are there any others? Any others? I think we're up to date. Oh, Owl, what's your favourite part of modelling? Also, hi. Sort of sculpting out the details, which we'll get onto in a second. Just sort of finishing it off with a nice sculpting finish. Stacey Morgan, Sam Fenner, can I do to get this custom play button for you? It's a bronze play button. I didn't even know YouTube still made those, honestly. Because I'm on 200,000 and it's... Who needs an award for doing YouTube though? Like, you know, honestly. It's a nice... YouTube's... I don't know. YouTube used to be about just sort of making content because fuck it. It's sort of become a bit more business oriented now, which is like part of the reason I just sort of was eager to get to work on a book, because it's like, you know, I get that everything's a business, but like YouTube felt more like a people's project, you know. But now it's all just sort of corporate fucking wankers saying, oh, fucking, I don't know. Do you know how many times I've seen fucking Raid Shadow Legend? Do you know how many fucking sponsorship offers I've had to ignore? No, I don't want to fucking tout your product. I do this for fun. I just want to fucking make fucking characters be fucking all the way they are. I just want Lucy Lacemaker to make a salty cup of tea, right? I don't want to fucking sell a fucking game that's gonna fucking rip you off all your money for microtransactions. I don't want to do that. That's not what YouTube's about. Fucking leave. No. That's a bad sponsorship deal. Not all of them are bad, obviously, but just, you know, like fucking... They're fucking annoying. You're watching a fucking YouTube video and it's like, oh, Raid, Shadow Light. Oh, you're now onto this new goop fucking... It's like, I don't want to hear about this. I want to fucking... You know... I just want to fucking make monsters. That's what I want to do with my life. Anyway. Are you happy with those horns, Ethan? You know? Are you happy with these horns? Do you want them like that? Do you want to fucking... I mean, you can if you want. Or you can sort of curve them a bit like that. But they look... It sort of loses its sort of thing. What do you want? Tell me what you want, Ethan. Just talk to me. That doesn't tell me anything. Okay. We'll do some more horns and then we'll get onto modeling. I said modeling, I meant sculpting. What the fuck do you want from me, Ethan? What do you want from me? That okay. This is what you call making it up as you go along. This is called not knowing what the fuck you are doing. Chusi Lim, sorry for butchering that name. Hello, just wanted to say that I love your work and it's a huge inspiration for me as an aspiring animator. I'm so excited to read your upcoming books. Greetings and love from Costa Rica. Oh, nice. You're from Costa Rica. That's a nice place. Thank you very much. You know, Satellite City is going to continue, obviously. You know, I'm relaxing the plot a bit, but it's still going to be about for as long as I live, because I will never not have fun animating content. It is for fun. And the book will have within it the, you know, all the best parts, I think. So, you know, enjoy that. That's, You got some sort of crown dynamic. What do you think you are, a king? What is this? What the fuck do you think you're doing, my friend, Ethan? Ethan. What is this? Well, you want bigger fucking? Yeah? Yeah? No? Fucking maybe so? Okay. Well, let's maybe see what happens if we smooth this out a bit. Let's just see what happens. Okay. That's okay. You okay with that, Ethan? Fucking Jesus. Alright. Right. Yeah. Okay. Apply the mirror and take that off. Ugh. Okay, Ethan, let's go into sculpt mode. And yeah, okay, right. Let's read through some of these chats. YouTube does not. Oh fuck! I missed that. I think YouTube does not make play buttons no more. I made some custom buttons if you want. Oh, I don't have like any PO box or anything, but you know, I'll just if you just sort of like take a carrier pigeon and then make a little badge version, give it to the carrier pigeon, you know, and then just send it over. It'll find me. But anyway, thanks for the thought. I never really thought about it. Crypto creature. Would you really? I need my tea. Where's my tea? Would you be willing to work with others? I'd love to learn from you and your work on your projects. I myself am a team player, so to speak. I love working with others. That's why I'm always out trying to fucking, you know, turn the heads of some other YouTubers to, like, you know, even if it's just a bit of fun. I do enjoy working with other people to make something, you know. But yeah, I do enjoy it. You know, it's fun. Okay. Yeah. I just added some extra vertices in there for a very good reason, because I started to notice a bit of wabba jabba, and then all we need to do now, very carefully, is take this and just sort of do that. There we go. There we go. Right. Now let's add in the multi-resolution. We'll do 5 because fuck it. I just wanted to thank you, the cultist. Just wanted to thank you for all the great content. It's been incredible to watch you evolve. About to start a new Bloodborne run. Any suggestions for a build, appearance, or character name? Oh, tell you what, Bloodborne. Jesus, that was, you know, that's such a good game. Yeah, I do actually. Do Blood Tinge, like Blood Tinge and skill, but focus on Blood Tinge. Kill the crow in the first area and get her sort of actually no, if you want Blood Tinge you need something else, but just sort of do skill and Blood Tinge, right? And then get the double barrel pistol, use Bone Marrow Ash, and in your first playthrough you will kill almost all the bosses in like 3 hits. That's how to break Bloodborne. So Blood Tinge and skill build is what you want to do. It works a treat. Although they may have patched it. It's not a glitch, it's just like fucking the damage scaling is ridiculous. Only on the first playthrough though. As you get to the later playthroughs, it starts to get it like a lot tougher. So, but if you're gonna start a new game, I definitely suggest doing that. Bloodborne's another thing. I have an obsession with monsters. You know, I really enjoy monsters. They're so interesting. So, any game with monsters in it. When I was a kid, my dad would be like, "Oh, come and watch this film, Sam." Like when I was like really young, and the first thing that me and Alan would ask is, "Is there any monsters in it?" Because that's all we'd care about. Is there a monster in it? Do we get to fucking feast our eyes upon some fucking creature? You know, the first character I ever made was a monster. The only human character I've ever come up with properly is Sullivan, and he's just me. I just like creatures and alien worlds. They're just more. It's a preference. It's not for everyone, but fuck's sake, they're just something about them is just vexing and interesting. You know. And it can be any monster. It can be a fur-clad beast. It can be fucking rotting flesh, corpse, fucking bone. It can be anything. Just as long as it's a creature, as long as it's not human, it's a point of interest for me. And I know I'm not alone in that. I know a lot of people like that stuff, and you are right too. Fucking, you know what, Ethan, you should fucking wrinkly ass Thanos chin. Anyway, it's funny. Alright, this is my favorite part, because it's here that you really sort of get to sculpt out the larger details. You know? So yeah. Some fucking round eyes. He's like, oh, Ethan. You know, we're watching you, Ethan. Okay. Check the super chat. I'm gonna go for now. Have an amazing day. Safe. Right. Everyone say goodbye to Amber, Ash, Talon Animations, fucking Osmosis Jones have an ass. That's a good film, by the way. There was a show as well, I believe. I remember watching that as a kid, although I can't remember much about it. I know there was something about a train in one of the episodes. And then there was one where the kids were just eating sugar and they were going, candy gives you lots and lots of energy. And it's like, yes, it does. Congratulations. You did it. You leveled up. Okay. I'm starting to feel this guy's vibe now. He's sort of like an older guy. He's not so much young. He's over the hill. He's over the hump, you know. Don't know what his sort of overall motivations are, but he's not trustworthy. He's kind of like, you know, an old bastard who has only lived this long because of the people or the other entities he's fucked over. He's got those sort of round eyes. He's got that frown that carries the weight of his past, you know. This is why I love modeling, especially new characters. Sometimes I just model creatures for fun and just like to imagine who they are and what they've done and why they are the way that they are. I like older characters a lot. That's why the Kivawakians are pretty much all really old, because there's that sort of wisdom with age, you know. I like the older look. I don't really like young, sort of teenage style characters. They annoy me. That's just my preference. So even like that's part of like the development of Lucy. She sort of she doesn't look it, but she acts pretty old. Even in the book, she's you know, she's youthful and naive and foolish, but there's that wisdom there that I like. Of course, not all characters can be that, because, you know, diversity and all that. So you do have those other characters who are, you know, naive and foolish and stupid, and they're also pretty fun. But personally, when I watch films, I look out for older characters and characters with actual motivations that make sense to me. Even characters that I disagree with, if they're older, they're just sort of entertaining. You know, I don't know. There's just there's something cool about living a long time, especially in like action movie sort of sense, when you've got like an old guy. If anyone's seen Harry Brown, you know, just like an old guy who's like over the hill and he's just fucking, he knows his shit, ex-military. There's just something I like about that, you know, the age, you know, taking on the fucking the new generation that outmatch him physically, but, you know, cerebrally, oh no. So this character's looking like, he's got these fucking horns, these whatever the fuck, you know, these sort of extremities. Although they're not limbs, they're just sort of outcrops coming out of his face. Distortion of the flesh as they pierce through. So, yeah. Let's go a bit bigger here and just sort of get that sort of, there we go, make that flow. Do it here as well. Create some more sort of, some more shape out of that. There you go. It's looking kind of interesting. It's got like these folds in his face now. We can just sort of like develop with a bit of No. And we just got to sort of turn up the power a bit here and just, oh, that's too powerful. Maybe just keep it where it was. I'm playing through Evil Within 2 with Carmen. We finished the first game. You'll notice a theme here: Doom, Evil Within, You know, fucking Bloodborne again. It's the whole creature dynamic. Oh, how I love the beasts. Send in the clowns. Let's check the chat. Hello, that's Ryan Duplis. Sorry for butchering that name. Hello there. Speaking of video games, what is the video game that you play that has the worst game design and the best design? My favorite is Shadow of Colossus. Fuck me, man. Worst game design. I'd probably say the worst game I've ever played is probably Destiny 2. Not because it was really bad, but it wasn't bad enough to be entertaining, and it wasn't good enough to be entertaining. It was just sort of. It just didn't work for me. It just sort of existed, and it was really easy. I don't know how it developed, because like I finished the game and it was pretty easy. Played it through with my brother, and that's probably the worst game I've ever played in terms of like, you know, next gen level, because it just wasn't there for me. I can definitely see the appeal, but it just felt like a shit Borderlands. You know, everything Destiny tries to do, Borderlands did in the second game, and even the third game. Even though the third game sort of doesn't pull through with the story, you know, the loot is amazing, and that's how it works. Best game design. I mean, yeah, fuck. I know it's recent, but Doom Eternal has some pretty solid fucking game mechanics in it. I like the strategy of getting the right equipment for the right time, the immediacy of the combat. It's like as the developers described, as sort of high speed chess. So in terms of recently speaking, but I'd say the sort of Soulsborne series, Sekiro, Dark Souls, Bloodborne. Honestly, From Software for me is just the company that delivers absolutely in terms of game. You know, I think every release from them I've enjoyed. Although I haven't played every release, but generally every one I've played I've enjoyed. You know, so I'd probably say generally I'd say the sort of Soulsborne series. And yeah, but it's subjective. It's down to personal opinion. That's just my thing. James Moore, bye Amber. There you go. And then Amber, you all are so nice. Stay safe. Bye Amber. And then there's Fare Thy Well, Amber. And then James Moore, Evil Within 2 is definitely better than the first one in my opinion. Yeah, I'm. You know. What is it? I think the second game is better than the first game so far. Although I do miss Ruvik. I haven't finished it, so don't ruin it. But the second game definitely in terms of gameplay is superior in every way. It's, you know, it's got more open world elements. You know, it's more scary. It sort of throws you into shit a bit more, which I really like. The only thing, though, is the antagonist sort of thing isn't, I don't think, as interesting as Ruvik, because with the first game it throws you around from all sorts of different worlds and realms, from old worldy to science to fucking to mental hospitals to fucking cities to strange cult layers. Haven't really had that in the second game yet. But, you know, like I said, we haven't finished it, you know, so I'm really enjoying it, though. You may have answered this, so, because I wasn't here, but who is Dizzy Jones? Oh, that's sort of like an old name for a character that has a very different name now, who is just sort of like, you know, that's the old name for Mandus. And like I said, anything that sort of worked in Satellite City, I've sort of translated to the book in its own way. So, you know, yeah. Benny, you may not see this, but I am a VFX artist. How the hell do you manage sculpting, rigging, UV mapping, texturing, animating, lighting, and post-processing all on your own? I have no idea. Probably because I do it wrong. I don't know. I learned Blender by just, you know, the whole thing, necessity is the mother of invention. I started out thinking, okay, I want my characters to sort of exist in a world. And so I started learning environments and how to make a CGI environment. There I learned how to sort of make, you know, model trees and rocks and texture and stuff. And then I thought, well, I want a character to be in this environment. So I learned how to do skin, scales, fur over the course of the years, mechanical parts. Then I thought, well, I want them to move. So I learned how to animate, rig, and, you know, then I thought, well, I want to edit it, I want to composite it, I want light beams, I want all this stuff, I want them. And so I learned how to composite, and then I was like, well, I want them to exist in the real world, I want to talk to them, I want to have a cup of tea with them. So I learned how to do the motion tracking thing and photogrammetry and basically anything I want to learn, anything that I want to add in to my fucking work, I'll just learn how to do on the fly. That doesn't mean that I'm doing it right, it just means that, you know, I think the result is what counts, and if you look over my body of work, you can definitely see improvement. So, you know, there's that. But yeah, there's, I don't know, there's just whatever you sort of want to do, just sort of learn how to do it. You can find it all on the internet anyway. That's part of the reason why I don't advise university for art, and I stand by that. It's because art is all about creativity, and you cannot teach creativity. It is impossible to teach creativity because it's just something some people have and some people don't. You can teach technical skills, but you can learn technical skills at home. So, in my humble opinion, if you want to learn how to animate, get a free software like Blender, look up tutorials, CG Geek, Andrew Price, it's all on the internet for free, and just learn and just have fun with it, and then make a show reel and see where you get, you know. Anyway, on that note, let's fucking alright, so I am pretty happy with that. Here we have Ethan. I hope you all enjoyed this mini stream where I modeled this guy, whoever, you know, Ethan. You know, if someone wants to design the rest of his body, go for it. I will not stop you. What I can tell you about him is that he is old, he is a fiend, he has betrayed a lot of people, he has seen a lot of shit, and whatever the rest of his body looks like, you can finish that off. Enjoy. And with that, I'm gonna read through the rest of the super chat, and I'm gonna conclude the stream. So if you have any last questions, send them over, and I'll do my best to get around to them. Has Hyacinth Clay survived her first flying lesson? Crystal Hall? Yes, she has. Like I am happy to report that she has indeed finished her first flying lesson. So, how do you come up with such interesting designs? Do you have any tips for creative burnout? Literally, just sort of, I don't know, listen to music is a good way, and think about what you want for their personality, and then sort of think about what themes you want. For example, Lucy Lacemaker, we'll use her as an example. She's a very wounded character, both in the book and the thing. She's sort of a fucking washout, drowning her sorrows, and so her colour scheme is red and white, blood and bandages, you know, all that stuff. Her chest looks like a broken heart. She's got a binocular problem. She doesn't really focus that well. She's got sharp needle teeth like a deep sea fish. She's deceptive. She's cunning. She's got downward facing ears. You know, she's sort of, you know, these elements. Just think Ludwig is dangerous. He's intimidating. He has the colors of yellow and black, warning like a wasp. Stay away. He is the grand voice. He has the thorns on his throat to symbolize that. He has a big crown-like head, like a mane like a lion. And just think about what themes you want the character to sort of represent, what you want the character's personality to be, and try and match the colors to that. And don't use too many. If you look at my characters, in terms of like, you know, color, they're very simple. They have maybe two main colors with a bit of a third. Lucy is white and red with a little bit of yellow in the hat, bit of black as well. Ludwig is yellow and black with a little bit of, you know, gold and blue on the shirt and pants. You know, Winifred is white and gold, or if she's the, you know, older Winifred, she's the white and black. Fleischer is blue and black. Schuck is black and red with a bit of white. Don't use too many colors. Try and exaggerate certain elements of them. Like Lucy's chest is like a heart, so it's very full. You know, she's got that sort of hourglass shape. You know, you know, Ludwig is thin and spindly. Fontaine is very much the same. Wexel is strong and muscular. Again, silver and black. Not too many colors. Yeshua, white and red. So just sort of don't go too far with the design. Keep the colors simple. Keep the shape interesting. You want it so that you can identify the character through their silhouette alone. You know, and yeah, that's my advice. Just sort of, you know, there used to be blue on Ludwig. His old model had blue. Now he has the sort of much more toned down waistcoat, but he used to have blue. But thank you all for joining the stream. You know, it's been a pleasure. It's been an honor. It's been nice. It's been good. Hope you enjoyed Ethan. Where the fuck this guy is. And yeah. Have a good night. I'm going to release a new Satellite City thing next week, hopefully. Sort of like the gang on lockdown, making light of a dark situation, which is the point of all comedy. You know, just sort of lighten things up a bit. Because there's so much doom and gloom in the world now. We need to fucking cheer the fuck up and try and, you know, we can get through this, you know. So I'm going to try and bring a bit of, you know, light-hearted banter to the channel. See how the gang gets on in these times. But anyway, good night, everyone. Stay alive. Don't panic. Don't eat your own legs. And yeah. Get the fuck off my street.